Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one, the only Turbo Toad token. Now, listen, you know me, I'm super high on Turbo, despite what people are saying, despite the fear in the markets. I overall am super high on Turbo as a meme coin. I do believe it has a very nice place in the altcoin season that we'll be taking in 2026. And I do believe that Turbo is one of the best meme coins when it comes to risk and reward. Okay. Listen, Turbo is a launch partner with Meme Diamond Hand Game. Enjoy a 2 times boost for Diamond Handing Turbo. So we can see, right? We do have some news surrounding Turbo. We can see we have a lot of love in the comments. I'm actually going to like every single one of these tweets just to show that extra love and support. And yeah, boom, there we go. So yeah, we can see Turbo's also consistently posting, right? Turbo is also consistently posting. When we go and look, we can see, right, every single day they are tweeting. Every single day they are making sure that it is unique and it is special. So, consistent activity is all that we can ask for Turbo during the times where the market is down for altcoins. But in general, like I said, I overall expect Turbo to pick up the pace. Listen, Turbo is ranked 238 out of 9,382 active cryptos. We're ranked 160, or sorry, we have 166 million market cap, 12.2 million volume. So volume is a high, but it is the weekend. So I don't really expect anything crazy to be happening or changing. Over the last month, we are down a good amount at 27%. In the last week, we are down just 2%. And in the last 24 hours, we're up 1.1%. So we can see, not much movement in the last day or so. In the last week, like I said, overall, we've kind of just been going sideways. Yes, there were times where we're down a little bit more, but we have been slowly recovering. And we can see when we go to something like the holders, right? A lot of people have been actually jumping off the Turbo train, which I'm surprised that people are doing it now. I mean, I'm not really surprised. People always sell at the bottom, they buy at the top. I mean, it's just human psychology for crypto, and most people, that's why they call crypto a scam. But the same people that call crypto a scam and trading a scam, they always say, "Well, why won't you do this? Why won't you that?" People like to just talk a lot, but um, yeah, look, man, some people are jumping uh off the Turbo train, right? We roughly lost. It's actually not that many holders. It seems like a lot, like the way the chart shows it, but it's only really 50, roughly 50 or so. So, to those 50 people, I mean, I hope at least you made some type of money and you just didn't buy when there was just pure hype and just sold when there's pure fear. Not fear, pure fear, because I mean, yeah, that's very backwards thinking, but it is what it is. It is what it is. At the end of the day, people make their own decisions and it's their own lives. Look, overall, we do know that there is a support zone kind of over here around the 0.0023, even up to the 2.4, I would say. We can see, though, in terms of market structure, right? It's nothing too crazy, right? Momentum is kind of fairly weak right now. Although we are kind of moving in this diagonal direction, I overall don't expect it to be very, you know, I overall don't expect it to last too long. I do see us bursting out of the zone eventually. I do think overall, right, that we will most likely be retesting the 0.0029. I can confirm we are still in a downtrend, right? That is what I can still confirm though. When we go and look at something like the daily candles, right? It's very simple. We have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, we have a lower low. And even though we have a little bit of momentum, it is still very weak. We go to something like the weekly. Yes, there is a little bit of a retracement, right? There is already a little bit of a retracement. So we could see the start of next week, potentially, like I said, push up upwards to the 0.003. But I do think we are going to sell. When we go look at the monthly right? We have clearly, broken this trend, right, where we were kind of having a low, a higher low, and then again a higher low. We did have obviously these highs over here. Right, we did have these highs over here. We had to decide, right? We really did say September is going to be the month of the decisions, and then we can see, right? We went to the downside. We went to the downside, and we can see how October reacted. So yeah, I mean, the markets chose to go down this way. At the end of the day, we have zero influence over which way they choose. Like I said, we are just participators. We did take out this huge zone over here. Actually, I would just do this something like this. We did take out this huge zone, this nice liquidity boom over here. In terms of the yearly, we also tapped into the yearly bottoms, right? When we go to something like this, we really did tap into the yearly bottoms. The 6 month, I mean, I wouldn't count that too much, but the 3 month, and the yearly look good. Even the monthly, right? Tapping into this monthly institutional order block candle, which I put in the private community back in April that I was looking at this spot, this snipe, right? I was looking at the spot, this snipe, because that's where I saw the institutional candle involved. So when we didn't hit it the first time, I was a little bit surprised. I had my limit orders ready back at these bottoms. And of course, right, when this whole dip happened, I think no one really expected for it to happen the way it happened, right? We all expected some type of manipulation. We were saying for the longest time, for many or already a couple weeks down here, that I expected for at least these bottoms to get swept for turbo. And I was ready, right? I was ready for these bottoms to get swept. I was ready to have, nice buy limits, not buy limits, but, just ready to be, dollar cost averaging down here. And then we got surprised with the big move to the downside. Right now, overall, I still think is objectively a great time to be dollar cost averaging. Like I said, there's still no massive confirmation that we are going to the upside though. So just be very, very wary of that. Overall, like I said, when we go to look at the yearly candle, yes, yes, this is a big sell candle, but usually, once there's a sell candle, pump candle, sell candle, usually the next year is another bigger pump candle. So yes, I expect turbo to be coming back to the all-time highs at the bare minimum. At the bare minimum, if this was a dud of a dud altcoin season and a dud of a dud move for turbo, I expect everyone that has ever bought turbo to get their money back, because I do expect altcoin season to be happening in 2026. And boom, right? I expect at least for these highs to get taken out, which would be at least, roughly 6+ X for your money. Worst case scenario. I personally, I'm not a financial advisor. I really do not recommend buying at the bottoms. Or sorry, not buying at the bottoms. I do not recommend selling at the bottoms. Right? It just makes zero sense logically why you would ever sell at the bottoms. And yeah, I know fear is a hell of a drug, but sometimes you just gotta fight back. Sometimes you just gotta fight back. But yeah, that is ultimately it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.